Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Chapter 4.5.6 review for the, that's right, test. All right, remember to show all your work. So write the slope-intercept equation of the line described. Now, looking at number 1, the two things they give us is they give us a point and they gave us a slope. So just remember that mathematicians weren't very crazy with all of the names that they made for these formulas. So when they give us a point and a slope, guess what? You use the point slope formula. I've already written it down. So doing that, we're going to put the slope where the slope goes, and then remember which one's your x and which one's your y. The y's stay together and the x's stay together. Okay, so now what we have to do is solve. On the left-hand side, everything stays the same, but then we have to distribute this negative 1/2. Okay? Well, negative 1/2 times x is easy. It's just negative 1/2 x. Now, negative 1/2 times negative 4. You can do this, guys. Okay? A negative times a negative is a positive. What's half of 4? Yeah, half of 4 is 2. Okay? And now all we do is solve for y. We add 5 to both sides. And then we get y equals negative 1/2 x plus 7. And then we're just going to write this on the line. So negative 1/2 x plus 7. Okay? Number 2 is the same thing. They gave us a point and they gave us a slope. The only thing that's different is that the order is different. See if you can fill in all the blanks by yourself. Okay, my slope is 3. And the only thing that we have to be careful about is when we have two negatives that the signs change. Okay? But now everything else is the same. We want to solve for y, so I have to distribute first. We get y plus 3 equals 3x, and then 3 times 2 is 6. And then to get the y by itself, we have to subtract 3 to both sides. We get y equals 3x plus 3. Okay. What did they give us now? Well, they gave us points. How many points? Ah, they gave us 2 points. That means we have to find out what the slope is. Remember the slope formula? Oh, well, luckily I do. All right, so here is the slope formula. Remember that it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's what we need to find first. Okay, let's figure out what that slope is. So my y's go on the top. We have 5 minus 2. And then on the bottom, we have 0 up, and that ends up being plus 5. Okay, well, 5 minus 2, that's easy. That's 3. And then 0 plus 5, what's 0 plus 5? Yeah, 0 plus 5 is 5. And is that all by itself? Or all by itself. Is that simplified? Yeah, so that's our slope. Now, we can use any one of those points, but I notice one of these points is special, and that's the point 0, 5. What's special about this point? Yeah, this is the y-intercept, okay? And if we have the y-intercept, I can plug straight into y equals mx plus b, the slope-intercept form. Okay, so our slope was 3/5 x, and then our y-intercept is positive 5. So y equals 3/5 x plus 5. All right, number 4. So same thing. We're going to figure out what our slope is first. So on the top, we have -5 minus 4. And then on the bottom, we have -2. And then when we have two negatives, that turns into a positive. So -5 minus 4 is -9. And on the bottom, -2 plus 2 is 0. Oh man. What's our slope if the 0's on the bottom? Do you guys remember? You don't? Well, you should. We can't divide by 0. Okay? This is undefined. And when it's undefined, this is a special case. Okay? So let's look back at our points. Which point is the same number? The x. Good. So we know that x equals -2. It's important to know your definitions. All right. Next one. Number 5. I want a line that is perpendicular to y equals -1/3 x plus 3 and through the point to -5. Now, I know it's hard to tell, but they gave us a point and a slope. Okay, there's my point, but what's my slope? Key word is I want it perpendicular to that slope. So if my slope is currently -1/3, perpendicular means opposite and reciprocal. So that's negative, now it's going to be positive. And then I flip the fraction. 3/1 is really 3. Okay, so that's our slope. Our slope is 3. And now we plug into point slope. So our slope is 3. And now we're going to plug in 2, -5. -5 turns that to a +5. And then we have x minus 2. Okay, so go ahead and distribute the 3. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 2 is 6. Now, the y is not by itself, so we have to subtract 5 to both sides. And now you just have to be careful with your negatives. -6 minus 5 is -11. Okay, so y equals 3x minus 11. Okay. Let's look at this one. Now, it's saying parallel to -2/3 x minus 4 and contains -6/3. So remember, knowing your definitions, parallel means the same slope. Okay, so we have a -2/3, and now just plug in your x and your y. 2 negatives make that a +6. Okay, so we have y minus 3 equals -2/3 x, and uh-oh, we have -2/3 times a +6/1. Okay, well, just multiply straight across. -12, 3 times 1 is 3, What's negative 12 divided by 3? Yeah, 4. And it's going to be a negative 4. That wasn't too bad. And is the y by itself? Nope. So add 3 to both sides. We get y equals negative 2/3 x minus 1. Okay, so once again, we have to write the equation through the given points. Okay? So let's take a look at number 7. The two things that we need is we need the slope and we need the y-intercept. Let's do our slope first. Those are my 2 points. I need to know what my rise is over my run. So just count. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I go over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Over 10. So 6 over 10, but does that reduce? Yeah, it does. 6 over 10 reduces to 3 over 5. So the only thing we're missing now is our y-intercept, and the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. And just to make sure that it looks like the point 1, but if we follow our slope 3 over 5, boom, it hits right there. Okay, so now we can just plug everything in. Y equals 3 over 5x plus 1. Okay, number 8, we're doing the same thing. We need the slope and we need the y-intercept. I noticed the y-intercept right away because it's right there on the point, 0, 3. Okay, and now let's see how many we go down. So we're falling from left to right, and then our run is 2. How many did we fall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we went down 8 over 2, which is, yeah, negative 4. So we get y equals the slope, negative 4x, and then the y-intercept of 3. Okay, so write the equation of the line meeting the given requirements. I want a line that is parallel, okay? So parallel, same slope to x equals negative 3. Well, if it's parallel to x and it's just x equals, that's a special case. So what does x equal over here? Yeah, x equals 3. So guess what? Parallel, undefined slope is only x equals. So all we do is steal the x, and x equals 3. All right, number 10. Now we want a line that is perpendicular to y. So if it's perpendicular, that means the opposite reciprocal, which means I need to switch, okay? I don't want the y, I want the x. And what does x equal? That's right, x equals negative 1. Okay, next one. They want us to write this in standard form. Okay, remember standard form means no fractions, x and y have to be on the same side, and x needs to be positive. Okay, that was the 4.6 notes day 1. Right, so the first thing that I want to do is to get rid of my fraction. So I'm going to multiply by the denominator, LCD. Okay, 2 times y is 2y. 2 times 1/2, well, half of 2 is 1, so we get 1x. And then remember, we have to multiply everything. -5 times 2 is -10. Okay? Now, the y isn't by itself yet. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract the x to the other side. I have a -1x plus 2y equals -10. And remember that x can't be negative, so I'm going to multiply everything by -1. And when we multiply everything by -1, everything just switches signs. Okay? And there we go. Now, I don't need the 1 in front of the x, so I'm not going to write it. So we got x equals, or x minus 2y equals 10. And that's our final answer. All right, number 12. Yeah, we don't want decimals. So to get rid of decimals, I need to multiply by the place value. And that is the 10th spot, which means I'm going to multiply everything by 10. Remember, everything. So that turns into -20y equals, 17x plus 90. Okay, so once again, we want to get everything by itself. Now, maybe you guys are like, Mr. Grice, I don't like how you did that last one. I don't like having to multiply by a negative. Okay, I'll show you the other way to do it. So that means I want to get the y to the other side. Now, when everything cancels on the left, we get a 0 equals 17x plus 20y plus 90. But now I have too much information on the right, so I'm going to subtract 90 to the other side, and then we get -90 equals 17x plus 20y. There we go. X and y are on the same side. There are no decimals or fractions, and the x is positive. Now, when I rewrite this, when I write my answer, I'm going to put the x and y first. So 17x plus 20y, and that equals -90. Okay, this video is getting kind of long, so I'm actually going to pause the video right here. Now, if you have any questions on the front side or the back side, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra 2, Chapter 4.5, 4.6 review, video number 1. Thanks for watching.